What's your last four digits of her phone number? Oh, never mind. I did it without.
About 10. We had to hold up the meeting.
Oh, thank you. Those are going to be the winning tickets that I bought 1 minute before council meeting. That's my 30? All right.
That's just a good start.
I'm up to over 600 now. Yeah.
That's a good stopping
You
point.
don't know me.
Yeah. Record.
Recording in progress.
All right. Good evening. The time is now 7 o'clock. We will now go into our May 20th, 2024 City Council meeting. Please rise for the colors if you are able to. They'll be presented to us tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. With that, we have a very special guest here tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to be part of tonight's very special ceremony. We're here to celebrate an outstanding member of our Woodland community and to present a very special honor to her. So I'm going to ask Callie Atra to come up, and I will read a few things about our special guest tonight. So, since 2015, face the crowd, come on, Callie Atra. So, since 2015, she has served continuously as a chaplain to police officers, firefighters, first responders, and senior home care providers. As a licensed minister and law enforcement chaplain, she has been called upon to provide spiritual counsel in the dearest of circumstances, day or night. She herself is a two-time survivor of the loss of a spouse, which has given her an even greater compassion and willingness to comfort those dealing with grief. She is now very happily remarried and delighted to report that she has 6 children, 14 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Here in Woodland, she serves as a chaplain to nursing home ministries. When not providing support for those in crisis, she has successfully completed in a number of pageants and is actually a 7-time pageant winner. In 2023, she was named an honored listee in the Who's Who of America. Most recently, she represented the country of her ancestry as Miss Senior Ireland at the Miss Senior Universe pageant in Las Vegas, Nevada. The Miss Senior Universe pageant celebrates the lives and accomplishments of women over the age of 60. The organization encourages women as they approach 60 to embrace who they are and to understand that age does not limit what they can become and what they have to offer the world. Senior women have nurtured their families, their careers, and their local communities while surviving personal tragedy, economic depressions, regional conflict, and world wars. They are strong, savvy, goal-oriented, wise, and aware. As an organization, the Senior Pageants Group seeks to further empower women of all ages, nations, and cultures to strive for equality, to achieve their personal best, to make real and meaningful changes, and to individually redefine what it means to be a senior woman and role model to the communities of women who follow them. Tonight's honoree is the embodiment of that mission, so it is with my great pleasure to crown her as the new Miss Senior Ambassador Ireland, Woodland's own Callie Atra Wright. Come on, you have family. Come on, it's not like I know how to do this. Is it on? Is it on? Fabulous. Family's most important. Oh, I want a picture. Come on now. Where are you going? We all are from the town. We're family.
I just want to say how much I love Woodland. I came here in 2014, and that's when I began the chaplaincy. And then within 2 years into it, my husband had passed away, and Woodland rallied behind me. People came to my house I didn't even know, gave me gifts, took care of me. And at that point, I had a love for Woodland, like I still do. I do believe that I'm called to go part-time, maybe to live in Ireland and here, because I do believe I'm called to Ireland. Now that I have the ambassadorship, that's what I want to do. I also gained the title of an ambassador for law enforcement chaplains. And my goal is to teach the Ireland police the necessity of having women chaplains. So, but I've never given up on Woodland. I was able to, in the one pageant, represent the Lilac Farm in my talent competition and won. And I had, when they first told me I was going to become an ambassador, they said, come to New York to the UN and we'll crown you. And I said, I want my hometown to do it. So I'm grateful to be a part of this town, but also my desire is always been, because I've suffered losses in my life, and is to be available to you guys. I also trained as a cancer at the Cancer Institute. So I want to be available to businesses. If they have people in their HR that are going through cancer or they have lost a loved one, call me up. Love to talk to them. That's my goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caliatra, and coming tonight. It's a pleasure to present that here at council with our community. Also in the audience is our own Planner Day princesses and last year's Planners Day queen. So welcome, y'all. With that, Amanda, will you take roll, please?
Councilmember Rounds,
Here.
Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Burke,
Here.
Councilmember Hall,
Here.
Councilmember Freimark,
Here.
Councilmember Houston,
Here.
Councilmember Dowdy.
All right. With that,
I make a motion to approve the absence of Councilmember Dowdy.
Second.
Amanda?
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Freimark,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston.
Aye.
Okay, next item on the agenda here is moving into citizens' communications for items not on the agenda. So I have 3 people that are listed on here. 2 of them are here to talk about farmers market, which is actually on the agenda. So those I will move to the appropriate place there unless they want to address something else. So first on the list is Keith. Come on up, sir.
Thank you for letting me talk tonight. Keith Belisle, President of Planners Days. Planners Days starts in 23 days. We're going to have fireworks and crown a new Miss Woodland. One of these 3 young ladies here is going to be crowned Miss Woodland. And so we're excited about that, and everything's getting ready to go. The schedule is available on the website, planters-days.com, as well as all the other information you should need as far as registrations for all of the activities and the parades. We're still looking for more prizes and sponsorships if people are interested. We don't have as many prizes this year, but hopefully they're bigger, better prizes, so that's a little bit better. But we'd sure love to have some more of those, and those can be gift certificates and that kind of thing too. Donations are fine as well. And so, any questions? Okay, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
I'll see you tomorrow at the meeting.
Okay,
6:30.
we'll see you there too, yes. Yeah, we have a Planners Days meeting, general meeting tomorrow, 6 o'clock at the VFW. The public is welcome. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Keith. I have Kelly and Carol to talk about farmers market. Is there something you want to talk about besides farmers market? Feel free to come up. Otherwise, I'll move it to, okay, I'm getting a shake. We'll move that. Anyone else in the audience that wants to talk about something that is not on tonight's agenda, or anyone online that would like to talk about something that's not on the agenda? Okay, moving on. Next item is reports of standing committees. Human Resources did not meet.
Agenda approval first.
Oh, you're right. My bad. I thought that's what I spaced it when she was accepting a. My bad. Agenda approval. Do I hear?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
With that, Amanda?
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving into the reports of standing committees. My apology on that last one. Human Resources did not meet tonight. Council member is out of town, so that next meeting will be on June 17th. Finance did meet tonight.
And I'm going to report because Doug's throat is a little scratchy, so he asked me if I would report tonight. We met at 5:57. It was Doug, myself, and JJ. And revenue to date is up 62.44%. The highest category is the building and construction, which is generating $42K. And the second highest is auto dealers, and that is up $36K. So the top sales revenue is for April is 106, which comprises 50% of the total sales tax, slightly lower than in 23. The top 20 totaled 109 and equated to 52% of the total. Things look like they're going pretty good. We ended the meeting at 6:20, and our next meeting will be June the 17th at 6 p.m.
Any questions from council or the audience or anyone online regarding the financial piece? Okay. Reports of city council. Well, we'll just start all the way on the left with Mr. Hall, and then we'll work our way to you, Mr. Smith.
I think we're a little weak on the left here tonight. I had the privilege of going to the Cowlitz County Chaplain's annual fundraiser on Saturday. That was a tremendous event. There were over 500 people, and it was amazing turnout, amazing honor to be a part of that, and we are so blessed in Cowlitz County to have a good, solid chaplain team to service. And Chief, I think you're on the board there. I think you were there, and that was fun to just be a part of it. So shout out to the chaplains.
Okay, excellent. Mr. Smith.
Okay, I got a prepared statement here, so bear with me. It is with mixed emotions that I announce my resignation from the Woodland City Council effective at the end of today's meeting. The reason for this decision is my family and I will be moving across the country to embark on new adventures or new chapters of our lives. Serving on this council has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to work alongside such dedicated and passionate individuals who share commitment to improving our community. Together, we achieved significant milestones, and I'm proud of the progress we have made. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to my fellow council members, the mayor, city staff, and most importantly, the residents of Woodland for your support and trust. It has been an honor to represent and serve you. Thank you for your understanding and support during this transition. It has been a privilege to serve, and I wish everyone here the very best future. Thank you.
Any comments from council or the audience on this?
Well, I'm sad. Sad that we're losing money because he's done a great job.
Thank you.
So, been a great council person, so.
Anyone from the audience?
Thank you.
How long have you been on council?
A little over 4 years, almost 5 maybe. Thank you. Thank you.
So, I'm gonna get a little emotional here. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I get emotional and things. Monty and I didn't start off well during the election process. I mean, it's one of those things, and I'll be honest, I have relied heavily on Monty over the first 4.5, 5 months of this. There's been a lot of different things going on, and I used him for counsel to help me guide through this. Monty, I'm really gonna miss you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for teaching me.
Thank you, everybody. And like Mayor Darnhart said, you know, it was a little rough during the election, but it's been a good transition, and I think he's doing a good job. So thank you.
Well, I have to say, I went to the chaplain's dinner also, and it was a great event. And lots of people turned out for it. And they had, it was a Willy Wonka theme this year, and they sold chocolate bars, which they had so many gold tickets inside the chocolate bars, and you could win. But they were $50 a piece, and they sold 500 chocolate bars.
Carol,
So
you always win at this stuff?
I
you
did not,
win?
no, I did not.
There's a first for everything.
I bought, but I did not win. But it was a great event, so.
I attended the Public Works luncheon and met the new Public Works Director and a lot of the people, and hope everything goes good. And I think it will.
Excellent.
I want to give a shout out to a couple of our waterworks employees. We had, like a week ago Sunday night, we had a water main break over at Woodland East Manufactured Home Community. And they came out at 10 o'clock at night, Sunday night, and helped us find the water shutoffs. Then came back out at 2:30 in the morning to turn it back on. So I want to thank Scott Summers. He's a lead at in the waterworks. And Tim Sorvella, who's the superintendent. Thank you, guys.
Me?
So I got something I want to say. So in August of 2023, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer and have been off work since my diagnosis. I'd like to acknowledge our family had to move out of the house we were renting and temporarily living just outside the city limits until we can find another suitable place within the city limits. We were given 30 days notice to move, and my options were limited considering I can't work until I'm done with chemo. Meanwhile, I have chosen to rent a room for myself inside the city limits so I can remain compliant with the laws regarding council members. I'm thankful my wife was agreeable to this temporary arrangement. I have my rental agreement and a voter registration address change to verify if there are any questions. So I just want to be transparent about this, and again, thanks to the voters that elected me to this position. I would hope to receive a little grace, all things considered. This is just a temporary situation until I'm able to return to work.
Okay. So I want to be clear on this. I want to ask, have a conversation of how we got here. So it's important that we follow RCW, and it says city and town council members, county commissioners, and special purpose district commissioners must be residents and legally registered voters of the city, town, county, or district they serve. To be legally registered voter, the elected official must maintain a permanent residence in the precinct in which they are registered. Resident in this content means a person's permanent address where they physically reside and maintain their abode. So this is coming up here. back on the 6th of April, a Saturday, I emailed Gabe, and I'm going through this here because, again, public records, I've done it all on city. I want people to be, I'm very much about transparency, and I want it to be clear here. So I emailed Gabe on September 6th regarding his residency. I followed up on the 7th of April with a text, and then on the 9th of April, I followed up with another text. On the 9th of September, or 9th of April, I should say, he responded with some text messages that said he was 3 minutes outside of city limits. I will have my new address in town when I change my mailing address this week. May 6th, I pulled Gabe aside following our last council meeting to ask him again about his residency, as I was approached by another council member prior to the meeting regarding his residency. On that evening, Gabe sent me some text messages around transparency, and has to be some kind of timeline. There has to be 90 days to find a new residence. There has to be something, so what are the rules? That is a quote. Then on the 6th, I responded, I said, and this is my response back, I said, I took an oath to uphold the laws without prejudice, and I need to answer to God. I will do both these, notwithstanding that I've been elected to do this by the citizens of Woodland. May 7th, Gabe sent me some text messages back, and one was, you literally can't kick me off council without giving me time to change my residency. There has to be something that says I have 90 days. May 8th, I responded with, you have mentioned transparency numerous times in these text messages, and I agree our community needs transparency into your situation since there's been numerous questions and inquiries. Here, or hence, at our next council meeting on May 20th, I will give you time to address our community regarding your residency and the concerns raised by council members and citizens. On May 8th, Gabe responded and said, I provided Amanda with all the documentation she needs, legal rental agreement. Well, I already planned on talking about it at the next meeting, so I'm already 2 steps ahead of you. I'm not here to point out Gabe, but I am here because the community has come to me, council members have come to me, and I don't want it to be a tarnishment here with council. Council here, myself, have worked very hard to build the community trust and to know that we are working here for you. We are elected officials to do what is best for our community. And so those questions that have come to us, I don't want people to wonder, what are you as a council doing? What are you doing as a mayor? It's not required, but it's very important to me to be transparent and let people know about these things. So that is the reason we had this conversation here. I appreciate Gabe addressing it there, but at the same time, I want the city and the community to know.
But can I say something?
Absolutely, you're more than welcome.
When you asked me, you told me a concerned citizen said that I moved up to Insull Road, which was completely false and not even remotely close to the truth. So I don't understand where it's coming from. Like, if I provided everything I need for my residency, I don't see what the issue is.
Okay, so the resident that came to me said Insull, so they had that inappropriate or inaccurate information. It's still the facts, and the primary focus here is it's outside of the city limits.
It's temporary.
And Gabe, I'm not going to go round and round. I just wanted people to understand why we are having this conversation, because I want people to know. I gave you my word I was going to be transparent. I want my council as well to be transparent. I felt it was important here tonight. And so I see people with questions out there. I'm going to allow comments. You will need to come to the podium. My one comment is that you need to address me. That is council rules, that it has to be addressed to the mayor. And council is not required to respond or anything, but they are more than welcome.
Hi, Todd. I was just going to ask, is there rules that say about a temporary relocation?
So I reached out to the auditor's office in Cowlitz County to look at that, and there are arrangements. So if somebody moves or somebody gets relocated to somewhere for a 6-month assignment, for example, they still have their residency here, sure. Or if your house floods or you have damage or something and you need to move outside of the city limits, and they know that you're coming back in, allowed.
Perfect.
Again, so there are those things here. My conversation with Gabe is, okay, if you are outside the city limits, but you're looking and you're trying to come back in, that's where you need to be honest with us, council, a community, and say, hey, listen, I need time, but address it and have that conversation with your council so that we're all in agreement and understand what is going on. So that when community members hit me up
Yeah.
or hit one of these people up, they're not stone cold facing go, because we, again, 6,500 residents, we are all here for the same purpose.
Absolutely. And life happens.
Correct.
So, and there's nothing that's designated saying, oh, you're no longer here, you're floating, so you're automatically kicked off. That is not.
If he's not coming back into side the city. So
But obviously he is.
I'm gonna go with his
Yes,
word.
Yes.
Again,
Okay. I was just curious if there was anything written that said you have 90 days to figure
there's,
it out.
no, there's,
Nothing
there's
specific.
no prescriptive timeline that says, according to RCW, that says, boom, you have to be here, this, here, this, here. I mean, I read you the, RCW, what it says.
Yeah.
I've reached out to Cowlitz County Auditor.
Thank you for that
Absolutely.
clarification.
I just wanted people to be clear.
Well, can I say something?
Absolutely, sir.
If a department head or someone who's required to live in the city limits, they get 12 months to find something, and if the mayor's allowed to give 2 extensions up to 3 months at a time, so up to 6 months for them, so you would think that we would get the same consideration.
So, hold on a second. So when we talk about our employees here, we're talking about our non-represented employees that have that in there. Those are contracts, and those contracts are negotiated, and those contracts are approved by council. We've done a couple of those since I've been elected here. Council approves those, and that is, a bargaining tool between the city and those individuals. So it's a little bit different between a hired employee and an elected official. And again, as elected officials, we have a higher standard that we are held to. Okay? So,
I was gonna ask the county commissioner, isn't there a rule that you have to, that says you have to be a resident at the time you assume office? Just like in the,
a room. And so, again, then it gets down to, I'm not here to say Gabe is or isn't. That's not my job. He has provided this information. I don't want it to turn into, litigation where, hey, let's go down this. But I want to be transparent so that when people come to me, I can say, go have a conversation with Gabe himself and what has transpired here. Okay? Any other comment from council or community?
Sounds like it's been put to bed.
Perfect.
Mr. Mayor, unless you want to do anything more on it, and I'd say we put it to rest unless something changes in the future.
Agreed. We're good. Okay? With that, we will move to our next action, or next agenda item, reports of advisory committees. Chamber. Ms. Swire.
Good evening. Hello. Well, on the theme of the chaplains, the Chamber welcomed Kali Lefebvre from the Cowlitz County Chaplain. She's the Community Outreach Director, and she was just at our meeting last Tuesday and did talk about that dinner that she was planning. It sounded very exciting, and she gave us a really good picture into what the chaplaincy does and her journey through that, and I had no idea. It opened my eyes, and I think it was a really powerful presentation. So it's nice to know that you went there. So anyhow, our regularly scheduled chamber lunches are on Tuesdays at noon at the Oak Tree. Like I said last week, we had Kali Lefebvre. Next, or tomorrow actually, we have Josh Carter. He is from Carter Venture Solutions, and I was introduced to him a couple months ago by someone who had heard his presentation, and I called him, and we had probably over an hour conversation on the telephone. He's a very interesting man, has a lot to say, and he has a lot to offer business community. So I'm looking forward to that presentation tomorrow, and everyone is welcome to attend. The week after that is a special meeting. We're having our legislators there with Senator Braun. Representatives of Barno and Orcutt will be there to wrap up what happened in the spring session, which seems like so long ago, but it was just a couple months ago. And so I hope we have a well-attended meeting on May 28th to welcome them. Our after hours, since I was last here, we've had two. The Woodland Library hosted the April one at the historic Park Street location. That was very well attended and pretty special because the next time we gather with them, it will be at the new location, which we're very much looking forward to seeing that. And then last week, Bell Imaging hosted last Thursday. They have a new location on Davidson. They moved from Rainier after decades of having Bell Imaging there. I think anyone that has had children in the schools in any of their 250 schools they serve knows who Bell Imaging or Bell Studios is. And so they're very excited to be in their new location, and I've had a lot of great feedback about their staff, their enthusiasm, their expertise, and just let alone the remodel of that building, and they did a really great job. So we thank them and everyone that came to that. Next month, June, what a busy week we have with Planners Days. The Port of Woodland has decided to host June after hours, but it's going to be on a Tuesday. Oh, that's not it. Tuesday, June 11th, the Port of Woodland will host after hours at their new Rose Industrial Park location. That'll be on June 11th from 4 to 6, and so we're looking forward to that. Thank you, Amanda. The Chamber's hosting its first beer garden at Planners Days on Saturday. We will start at noon after the parade and go until around 7, which is, I think, when the next event starts. Keith, is that a car? The cruise in starts at 7, and that's when we'll probably wind down our beer garden. We've got some great sponsors. The prices are up there. We've got live music from Brandy Lynn and her trio, and Claire Beck will be there. It's going to be fun. Kim and I are going to be there all day, aren't we? Yeah. If you'd like to volunteer, let me know. It's, like I said, it's going to be fun, and especially since I've ordered Sunny and 75 for that day. So it's going to be great. Right?
We all can volunteer to work at the beer garden?
Yes.
No permit, no food handler's card.
Oh,
nothing to respond.
Antidote.
Here we go.
Antidote Tap House is the host. The pourer. We will be volunteering with the people. And our next slide, our annual golf tournament is on a Tuesday this year. For cost reasons, we decided to go on a Tuesday. It's also a chamber day, so most people look for that. It's at Lewis River Golf. I have flyers here I can pass out. And then I also have extras if anyone in the audience would like one. Here you go.
You don't want me to go.
I do. I think this is more than just a fundraiser. To me, this is a celebration of businesses and our members. It's a great day, and I think every single person enjoys it, and it's a beautiful venue. So if you would like to golf, you'd like to sponsor, you'd like to volunteer, or you'd just like to join us and hang out, let me know. It's also always a great time to join the chamber, but we have a new member who contacted me, heard about it. He's a new member, McPhee's Butcher Block. I believe they're down by the old silo past the high school and Walmart. Super excited to join, super excited to have a grand opening, a ribbon cutting. This will be my first ribbon cutting. I've been here a year now. It's hard to believe. But they want to do that on Saturday, June 15th. Planners Day. They want to do it at 10 in the morning, and I said, we're going to make it happen. I can come with the scissors that are as large as me, and we'll do it. But they're super excited. They want everyone to come say hi. They have not only a slaughterhouse and a butcher shop, but they have a little a market there. You can buy meat, and I know they have Kalama sourdough. They have some great things there to sell. So please stop by and say hello and welcome them to our business community.
I thought that I read that they were trying to get USDA certified also.
Probably, yes. I've heard that too.
In order to sell in the stores?
Yeah. So, McPhee, his first name is, I'm not remembering his first name. I want to say Stephen, maybe. But anyway, they're open 7 days a week. So
Oh, they
stop
are
by.
open
Yes,
7 days?
yes. The visitor center, last time I was here, we had only seen 111 guests in April, but in May we saw, no, the opposite, in March. In May, we welcomed 265. Things are picking up. I think a lot of that had to do with lilac days. We had some nice days of weather. And then people just wanting to see the mountain and our area, which is great to see. And we just love that. This last week from the chamber, anything you need to ask me? No?
I owe you a contract, and so I will.
Thank you. We need to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right.
So, Chamber has approached us about going into the Civic Center, and so need to get something together and get their approval and then get council approval.
I watch it being built every day, and it's just gorgeous. I don't know if you've driven by and seen the green grass, and they're working really hard. It's beautiful.
Koff Construction has done wonderful. They've been great to work
Bob
for.
Koff is,
Yep.
yeah, wonderful.
So-
So anyway, thank you.
Yep. Thank
Okay.
you. With that, we will move into reports of city officers. The mayor report. So, couple items that I want to touch on tonight. There was a planning commission meeting last week, and then at our last council meeting, there were a lot of people here that were talking about the RV park on Woodland Shores, and then they're also over here at Belmont Loop. And so there will be a workshop at our next council meeting on June 3rd to talk about this. And again, what we want to do as a city and the direction that the council here wants to do. So look for that at the June 3rd meeting. On the point of council and things, I hear my buddy is leaving. So with that, I just want people to know how that will be filled. There will be application process. We will get that posted out there, and then council will do interviews and make their recommendation and appointment. It is a 4-year term. His term expires on 12/31/2027. And so this appointment would be until the next election, and the next election would be in November of this year. So there is a primary election in August, but the filing deadline for that has already passed. So we would be looking to appoint somebody on council, and then in the election in November, somebody would be elected for the remainder of that 3-year, 1-month piece. So that is how that will be taken care of. Legal RFQ that went out, I want people to be aware of that. We put that out here last month. So now we got a couple different proposals, and so we're going through a rating process, and so we'll be bringing that to council on June 3rd with a recommendation. And then the next piece I want to touch is, I know Carol touched on financials. I just wanted to show high level a couple reports. You have that up there, Amanda. So we have done a great job. I want to throw a shout out to the Public Works team. All of them have done a great job. Riley is one of our meters, totaling $528,000 of outstanding. Since then, Riley spent one day and called 77 people who were past due, whose meters were about to be shut off in 3 days. At the end of the day, we had roughly 70 individuals and businesses that signed up for our payment plan that we offered, and we unfortunately did have to cut off shut off water for 12 meters. With that great work, and we have collected this revenue, there's a couple things. Can you go to the next slide, Amanda? Slide. Ultimately, what we're doing right now, the Civic Center. I know you've heard me talk about it. We've spent a little over $400,000 on that Civic Center this year, year to date. And year to date, our budget is $100,000. The full budget is $300,000. Okay? But as we look at year to date, as a city, we are still a little over $100,000 favorable to budget, with us being $300,000 year to date over budget on the Civic Center. We have done a great job. Our employees have done terrific. All 35 of them have stepped up taken on additional work, backfilled for positions, and so as a city, we are doing well. Carol reported out from the finance that revenues are up slightly, 100%. They are doing well. So, why am I pressing this and talking about the great work that they've done collecting the water bills, that we are watching our dollars? So, in December 4th, 2023, so last 6 months ago, Resolution 776 was passed by council. That it was that increased water rates 5% as of November 15th, 2023. It also set in motion and it increased water rates by another 5.5% on November 16th, 2024. So there's a resolution out there, 776, that water rates will go up 5.5% on November 2024. Then in November 16th, 2025, there will be another 5% rate increase, which means 18 months from now, water rates will be roughly 11% higher than what we're paying today. That, to me, I have issues with that. At the same time, though, we do have aging infrastructure. We have things that need to be done, and we have a water tower. We have 2 filters that we're working on. We are working diligently on those. Okay. I am going to propose, and I will be bringing council something. I am going to work hard, and I think that we can avoid our rate increase that is scheduled for November 2024 of this year. And you might be looking and saying, well, wait a minute, how? We still need to invest in our water systems here. There is no doubt, and Deinhardt will never say pull money from water and put it over to the general fund or pull money from water. No, it's the general fund goes to water. Water stays water. Okay? With that extra $400,000 that we are collecting of past due bills, with us watching our dollars and cents, I am very confident that we as a city can identify $150,000 to put into water that we do not have to put on the backs of our residents. That 5.5% rate increase is a $150,000 increase. There's no reason we can't find $150,000 in our budget. We're $100-some thousand favorable here when we've spent $300,000 over on a civic center. We can do this, team. And so I'm there, and then each thereafter, I hope that we can avoid that additional 5% that is in motion with Resolution 776. Any questions or comments on that? And that is where I really firmly want council, and I will have a proposal to them that shows where we can find that money. Questions or comments? Sir? Use the mic, please.
I don't really know too much about this water deal, but same thing up there in Kelso. I've never seen such towns that had such a problem with water. And it's just like, now it goes to the landlord instead of the people who's renting. So now you got to send 2 bills out instead of 1. There's probably a lot of people renting. I don't know. It just seems really crazy about this water stuff. You ran on getting it lower, now it's going higher. It's just, a lot of it don't make sense to me.
So hold on a second. Let me address that. So, that it's going higher. So this is a resolution that was passed prior to me becoming mayor.
Okay.
And that is why I'm saying,
Okay.
and that resolution is in motion because it was passed in 2023. And that's why I'm saying, hey, listen, we as a team, we're going to identify and avoid that rate increase that is coming in November. So
Okay.
I'm hitting that train before it hits our town here. So.
Thank you for that.
Okay, and then the other piece you're talking about, that's a little bit other, on the water piece, I want to be clear. Our infrastructure is things from the 50s and 40s. I mean, we do have pipes. We have underground issues where pipes are broken and we have sinkholes and different things. So we do need to fix that. We have to continue to throw money at it. And Riley is there. He's an expert at this. If he wants to throw anything, he more than can. So I want to make sure that we're not cutting our spending there. We're not reducing anything. We're just finding other sources to find it instead of the residents. Your second issue that you brought up was the landlord piece. So that piece was when we went to Minall. That was a resolution from council, is that we put the bills in the landlord's name. And so that is something that I'm taking ownership. I'm working with staff to change that so that we have it in the tenant's name, but the landlord is also with it. So we're working on that piece. Fire away.
The bills moving to the tenants, from the tenants to the landlords, from my understanding, is the state was going to pass legislation which was going to force our hands. So we passed the legislation prior to that. The state never ended up passing the legislation. So that's always something that can be readdressed.
Okay, well, you know, it's, like I said, I understand it went up before you came in, but I hope that you can figure out work out money some way, some other budget somewhere, because the water's just getting crazy, you know. I've never been between Kells and here my whole life. I've never seen paid, you know, and I can see the, you know, infrastructure and stuff like that, but Kelso, you know, I was told 10 years ago that they charged so much for their sewer because they had to pipe across the river. Well, you know, I mean, how many years ago they put that pipe in there, you know, I mean, you know, it's like a toll bridge, you know, it's got to be paid for sometime, but, you know, even to fix the infrastructure, you know, try to find it somewhere else, because the water is just, that's your backbone, you know, that water to pay stuff, and it's just getting kind of crazy.
100% agree. Thank you, sir. Okay, with that, that is all I have for my mayor's report. Questions, comments from anyone in council or here in online? Ms. Frymark, come on up.
I want to ask a question about something you just said about
Fire away.
the 5% was going to go up in 2023 for the water. Did that have anything to do with all those overdue bills?
So it was a study, and I will let one of the council members who's been around, it was part of the study that was out there that called for rate increases to, again, build our reserves, because we do have, you know, sewer items, waste treatment plant items we need, and we also need some water improvements. And so we need, part of that study, need to collect a certain dollar amount that's there. With the city, you don't recognize the revenue until you collect the cash. So we don't accrue anything. And so as we've collected that money now, we have that money available. And also, if we can watch our pennies to save the city money, we can reallocate money from the general fund. So it's a one-way street. It goes from the general fund over to water only. It doesn't go back the other way.
So perhaps in 2023, if you had collected all that revenue, it may have given you a different picture, because you would have had more in that
In the
line
reserves.
item. So, with that being said, what percentage now is outstanding in overdue bills? Do you know?
So we still have around 300,000 that is past due, because we have payment plans that people are on,
Okay.
where we have given them up to 9 months. And that was why council, I give shout out to this team here. They said, hey, we can collect it before 12/31, and that's where the 9-month process came into this whole thing. So, and you will always have some people that are past due on that. So,
Right.
yeah, I have a comment from Ms. Rounds, and then we'll go to Mr. Smith.
I was just going to say it was not due to the people being past due.
Oh, okay.
It was a resolution that we passed to step increase the water rates in order to get the money for the infrastructure. And so it had nothing to do with the people that was past due.
So if you're able to work with council and not have an increase, what will the next time an increase comes up look like?
So if you look at the study and you go out a couple of years, that's where it has the 5.5 this year and an additional 5.5. And so 5.5 compound is at 11%. And so it equates to about 150,000 this year, and then it goes to 162,000, roughly 163 the following year. And so it truly is, if you want to avoid those, can we find money and say, let's allocate that money and move it over to the water? Because that study says we need to collect a certain dollar amount. Our reserves need to have a certain amount. And you can either get it from the general, or you can get it from ratepayers.
In collecting the money for water and using Minol, is it? Did they help or not? Collecting more money, or did you collect more money when there was not a third-party biller?
So I was a big proponent of bringing billing in-house. So don't get shocked when I say this here. Minol has actually been very helpful. I've met with them every Wednesday, have an hour call with them. We go through. Riley's team, Kathy Morrison, is on that call. We go through all the issues. We discuss each meter that's behind, not behind. They helped us with outbound calls. We said, hey, we'll do outbound calls. Then there was 400 letters that were hand signed by me. That was something that I did on my own, but they did help with the outbound calls. Their call volume has been up. They did not take an increased pay from us as people called to get signups. So but there have been some trips here and issues where people who were using fiber credit, the lockbox issue was there, and some people's payments got sent back. And anyone that has written in or called, I've had conversation with them, and I've reversed their fee on that because, again, I know there are issues there. But I want to give Minol credit for their work that they did.
So is Minol now still on a year-by-year renewal?
Correct.
And is there any more talk about bringing it back?
So
in-house?
Minol contract, the council approved another 1-year contract with them with a renewal. Automatic renewal is what it was. So that goes through. If we don't renew, we can do another automatic renewal. We are going to Tyler Tech, which is a new accounting software. Council approved a roughly $60,000
I remember.
appropriation for that. And that there is an accounting software. We can do an add-on $6,000 to $10,000 to do a billing system that is included in there. We've elected not to do that billing system right now because, again, anytime you start messing with billing, yes, there is a little bit of cleanup work that has to be done either way.
I know.
We need to focus on this here, not this here. And so as we get Tyler Tech moving along, then we can make the decision with council. Is that council's recommendation to bring it in-house and spend the additional money and moving forward?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hold on a second. Mr. Smith had a comment. Don't run away.
So just some of the backstory on water rates and sewer rates. Previous to the water rate study that was done, the water rates and sewer rates were set at 7% to increase every year. They were finding that they were shorting the water reserve fund, which I think they call it an enterprise fund, and you can't commingle those funds. You can't take water funds and move it over to sewer and vice versa. It's against the law. And so they were overfunding sewer funds at that point. So they brought in, did a water rate study, and then that is when they determined that they needed to have some very large increases of water rates for that 2-3 year cycle. I think we went through 15% 3 or 4 times. Don't quote me on exact numbers there. And we reduced the sewer rate down to like 2%, 2.5%. And then after those big rates came through, then it was supposed to level at 5% to help fund all of the major water projects.
I see. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments before we go to our next item? Okay, consent items. One moment, I'm sorry, I messed up. Back on citizen communication for items not on the agenda. We did have a couple emails that came in from a community member, Ms. Jenna Lovejoy. She asked to have those added to the meeting minutes and as part of the citizen comments were not on the agenda, so my apologies. Those will be added to the minutes from this meeting here. So now I want to get back down to the consent items. Apologies.
Motion. Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Amanda?
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We'll now move into the action items. Action item C, Clerk-Treasurer Approve vouchers.
Comments.
Comments? Any
Public comment.
comments?
Public
Oh,
comments.
sorry, my bad. Public comments. I would see no public comment. Any comments or motions from council?
Make a motion to approve action item C, Clerk-Treasurer Approve vouchers.
Second.
Any comments? With that, Ms. Hogan, you want to
I
take?
have a
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, on that list of vouchers, there's a very large item in there for our drone program, the grant. It's on like page 17. And I thought maybe Chief might want to comment on that. That has been something we're really excited about, the future of our drone program. It helps with public safety.
Passing that mic around, I'll come up and address that real quick. So, and it feels cool to stand up here in front of you guys. So we put in for that grant, and that is part of that. But we have to do the upfront, and eventually. So right now we have one officer that went through pilot school. I think he was done last week, and now he's done the package deal. So we're really looking forward to beefing up our UAV program. So.
And it makes us a more complete police department.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're following all of our vision of being a self-contained police agency. So, yeah, we're on our way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any other comments or questions on the vouchers? Do I have a motion?
Motion's already there.
Oh, you're right, you two did. My bad, Amanda.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Freimark,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving into action item D, accept grant funding for CWCOG STBGP for Gun Club Road overlay and add to previous grant funding awards. Any comments or questions from the audience or anyone online? Any comments, questions from council? I would just throw, this is again a great effort done by the Public Works Department. Catherine over there did a great job finding this grant, getting it and aligning it, working with CWCOG to get these funds, additional funds, and being able to add them to our other grant. So,
I make a motion to approve action item D.
Second.
who took the second? Mr. Freimark. Okay, with that, Ms. Hogan?
Councilmember Smith,
Do we have comments from council first?
Oh.
Sorry.
No, there were no comments. I asked if there was any comments.
I just wanted to make a comment.
Oh.
That we missed me, sorry.
Oh. Speak.
There's been several complaints over that road, Gun Club Road, for years, so it'll be nice to finally get this road paved.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I live out in that area, and I'm especially grateful for it, as I'm sure local folks are out in that. It's one of the worst roads in the city, and my car feels it.
And when's the timeline for paving this?
We are looking at this year. We're looking at waiting for the contractor to get back to us on this actual start date.
Okay.
With that, Ms. Hogan.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Freimark,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving to action item E, authorize the mayor to appoint Brian Mattson to fill the planning commission vacancy. Any questions or comments from anyone online or in the audience? I will point out we had 4 applicants for the planning commission. I talked to each and every one of them, had phone conversations with them. I followed up with them and let them know my recommendation here. So Brian is currently on the planning commission, has a lot of passion for it and is looking forward to it. 2 of the candidates that I talked to, I think, have bigger ambitions than being on the planning commission. I think, someday hopefully they will run for council or maybe sit up here. And another individual used to be on the planning commission and was kind of there around, hey, I didn't know that other people would apply. We usually have a tough time. And he's like, hey, if there's somebody that's out there that has passion, let them drive. And so that's how I have here with Brian continue. Okay?
Make a motion to approve action item E.
Second.
He says, did I ask if there are any comments from the public? I thought I did.
I don't know. I'm lost right now.
I'm distraught tonight that you're leaving.
Nah.
Short
We all
timer syndrome.
Yeah.
When are you leaving?
Tonight.
In about 30 minutes. So, Ms. Hogan.
Councilmember Frymark,
Aye.
Councilmember Houston,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving into action item F, resolution number 783, supporting the Metropolitan Planning Organization boundary expansion to include Woodland. Any comments from individuals online or in the audience? Come on up, Mr. Fashing.
Bill Fashing, Director of the Cowlitz-Wahkiakum Council of Governments. I don't have any comments. I just wanted to point out that I was here in case there's questions. I'm happy to answer those.
I think you answered them for me the last time you was here, so I'm okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I do have a question. It seems like, I don't know a lot about this, but it seems to me like we are joining a number of other jurisdictions, most of which are bigger than us. Is this process that if we go forward with this, is that tying our hands so that we no longer have local control of that? Does it fall now to the county?
You have total control over your destiny, whether you're in the metropolitan planning area or not. You have full ability to make whatever decisions you want, regardless of being a member of the Metropolitan Planning Organization.
So there's not going to be like something coming forth from the group saying this is what we're going to do, and your project over here doesn't fall in that, so you're out.
Nothing new. I mean, we do have a regional transportation, long-range transportation plan. And that plan is developed through collaboration of city leaders from, I think, 31 cities in the 5 counties. And the only oversight it really has for this board, this council, is that when you complete your comprehensive plan, your transportation element from your comprehensive plan has to be consistent with the long-range transportation plan that the Regional Transportation Planning Organization, the Metropolitan Planning Organization approve. Doesn't restrict you in any way other than you have to be consistent. And you have that requirement today because you're within the Regional Transportation Planning Organization. This will just include you within the metropolitan area.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate
Okay.
that.
And I know it's clear as mud.
Right.
What's the benefit for Woodland to agree to this?
I think the big benefit is additional capacity on our part to assist you in looking at transportation issues long-term.
And COG has been very beneficial in giving the city of Woodland money for different grants and things, so they've been a good partner.
Thank you.
Does that help us get grants?
We try to help everyone get grants. I don't want to be accused of playing favorites at all,
Yeah.
and we don't, but we're here as a resource for all of our member agencies.
Does that help us as far as like transportation goes? Like if we approve this to help us align us better? Or I don't know what the right words are here, but
It could help. Being part of the Metropolitan Planning Organization might open the door over time. There are certain funds that are available only to agencies that are within an MPO, excuse my acronym, Metropolitan Planning Organization. Those funds are out there, but they're not huge numbers. And, you know, we've gotten a couple grants over the years that were specifically for the Metropolitan Planning Organization and the agencies within. It's not going to make or break probably the city of Woodland long-term, but it again brings the possibility of more resources. As a reminder, we did the study, initial white paper on the possibility of a relief corridor out of the bottoms across the Lewis River into Clark County. We can do things like that in more frequently under MPO than we could before without the MPO in place here. And again, Metropolitan Planning Organization, it rolls off so easy as MPO, I apologize.
So the City of Council Rock was the most recent addition to it?
Well, yes, and you mentioned the size of the community. Kalama, Castle Rock are both going to be within the Metropolitan Planning area. Both are smaller than Woodland. Kalama has taken passed a resolution similar to what you're considering tonight. So, and Castle Rock, for a variety of reasons, didn't have a choice in coming into the Metropolitan Planning area due to census designation, and there's rules regarding density. And Castle Rock's density and proximity to Kelso Longview metro area is such that they automatically became part of the Metropolitan Planning Organization as a result of the 2020 census. Does that help? Yes.
I suppose so.
This is not an easy subject, I understand.
Is there any more drawbacks to us?
There are, as far as I know, there are no drawbacks to the city of Woodland for participating in the program.
Other than the transportation?
Yeah, other than a couple $1,000s a year starting July 2025.
Okay.
Any other questions from council, from Mr. Fashing? I think I have other questions out in the audience, but any for?
I don't have any questions because I wasn't on the last. I don't have any questions because I wasn't here last time, unfortunately.
Would you like him to give you a 30-second?
I'd like to give him a whole thing on it, but I don't want.
Happy to visit with you anytime to bring you up to speed better.
On my time?
Whatever time you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
What's your recommendation on this as far as, like, I respect your opinion, and I know you've worked well with us over the years. What's your?
I think it's, from my perspective as the director of the organization, I think we can bring services and opportunities to the city of Woodland with you being in the metropolitan planning area more efficiently and effectively than if you're not in. Will we still be able to help you and assist you? Yes, but this opportunity will bring new resources to our organization, not a bunch, but a little more resources to our organization to increase our capacity.
Can I ask why some cities have chosen not to join?
Well, no one has chosen not to join. Historically, when the metropolitan planning area was created, it was the urban area was designated by the U.S. Census as Longview, Kelso, Rainier. And then in 2020 with the census, Castle Rock is going to be added, and we're still working on that addition of Castle Rock. As we started talking about this and started looking at growth patterns along I-5 and what was going on, and anticipation that by 2030, Kalama and possibly Woodland would also become part of that Longview urban area as defined by the U.S. Census. We started this discussion with a variety of partners at the Technical Advisory Committee and expanded to the COG board, and have come to the recommendation through a variety of conversations that it is staff and the Technical Advisory Committee's recommendation that we go with a county-wide metropolitan planning area to facilitate planning under one umbrella.
I got a question. How do you feel about it? Are you familiar with the program?
I think he's looking at you, Riley.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think anytime we have an option to get into a partnership, it's always a great thing. I have had great success in transportation being a part of a group, so it's a great opportunity, and I would say move forward with it if you feel comfortable.
So then we should vote on it, because
I think go ahead, Mr. Smith.
I feel like Woodland has transportation issues. I know that. Everybody knows that sitting in here. I feel like if we're
we still do.
part and we're bringing this to where other communities are out there, they can see some of the issues we're having and maybe get a little more support for our issues if we're all sitting at the same table with them.
And you are at the same table right now.
Okay.
This just expands that a little bit, so.
Okay.
Any more questions for Mr. Fashing before I open it up to the audience? There was somebody else out here that has a question.
I'll say one thing, that having a little understanding of previous goings-on elsewhere similarly, there is strength in numbers. And as long as you guys as a group keep going in the right direction, it would be advantageous for us to be part of you.
Thank you, and we'll depend on Carol and John as our board members to keep us on a straight line. No pressure.
Come on up to the mic, please.
I was wondering about the cost. I was under the impression that it was 25%, like the feds will put in $44,000 and then the Woodland has to match 25%.
I don't want to break the rules.
Like me.
We will get additional federal dollars, and the local match, you're right, is 25%, but that will be split between Kelso, Longview, Castle Rock, Rainier,
Okay.
Woodland, Kalama, Port of Woodland, Port of Kalama, Port of Longview. So the extra $40,000, your portion will be about $2,000, or your
So it
portion of
doesn't
this whole
all
program.
wind on their shoulders.
Correct. It's about
Okay.
$2,000 a year, plus or minus, as the numbers are today. If we were to get a huge influx of new federal dollars, that could go up by, and I can't remember, you guys are 2 or 3% of the total match, something like that. So at this point and for the foreseeable future, $2,000 to $3,000 a year for the next decade is the anticipated amount.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of your
No.
many years of service.
Well, thank you.
So just so we're clear, so when people understand, so us joining increases those federal dollars, but it's socialized funding, and the other counties are going to be.
The other cities and counties.
Okay, you're right. Correct.
One
Other
county.
city. Yeah.
One great county.
Yes. So, okay, but so it's not all sitting on with it. But if other cities, do tend to join, then we will be part of that socialization later on.
Right, I wrote that down wrong in my article, and I apologize. I thought Woodland was be responsible for the full 25%. So I thought your part of the kitty was 11,000. And I'm really happy to find out that it's not that much. That's wonderful.
It's a good question. Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone online or in the audience? Any comments, questions from council? Do I hear any motions or what?
I call it quit. Well, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
With that, any comments?
It sounds like it's a win. It's going to help us.
Mr. Primark?
I would agree, and like I said before, strength in numbers, it'll only enhance our visibility to the rest of the universe. And, I would be disappointed not to see good things come out of it over the next decade.
Okay, with that, Ms. Hogan?
Councilmember Hall?
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds?
Aye.
Councilmember Frymark?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Houston?
Aye.
Councilmember Burke?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The time is now 8:15, and we will move into a workshop on the farmer's market. So,
Can we take 5 minutes?
I want to have a little conversation and open this up. I know there's a couple individuals here to talk about the farmer's market and get us, council, where we're at here. So, Amanda, Riley, feel free to chime in at any point here and be part of this conversation. Also, you know, Kelly and Carol, feel free to be part of this conversation as well. This is a community conversation. So farmers market, Friday nights down at the park during the summer. Farmers market, Woodland Farmers Market is a 501c3. It is a not-for-profit. So right there out of the gate, people need to realize it's a not-for-profit. The city of Woodland has a ordinance number, I want to say 783, but it's not 783, it's,
77?
Are you talking about the fee resolution?
yes.
Um,
Has a fee resolution, we'll get the number.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
That we charge, if people are selling things on our property, we charge that person 15% of net proceeds. So let me give you some examples. Planters Day, beer garden, 15%. The food cart at 100 Davidson Street, they pay us 15% of their net proceeds. Somebody wanted to have a garage sale in the community center. They're on Park Street, and we told them that we would need to take 15% of net proceeds of their garage sale. Right, wrong, or indifferent, there is a fee schedule that's here. And the interpretation that the city is taking is, it's a tier 3 says, if funds are generated from vendors, etc., semicolon, for any size group that charges an entry fee, race events, beer gardens, circus, etc. So, farmers market would like to come have their market down at Horseshoe, use our property. Come on up. And we as a city and as mayor, I speak for myself, fully support farmers market, want farmers market
Correct.
down there, and want to do what we can do. Kelly and I, go ahead.
Wasn't there a event, if it was a 501c3, it was not charged, like Planters Day was not charged?
No, I mean, so hold on, planners, I mean, again, if the city is partnering
Right.
with it, that is one thing. But as a 501c3, and Kelly, you and I had a conversation.
Hi, I'm Kelly
Yeah.
Templer.
That's your
I'm
report.
a resident of Woodland.
Yeah.
Hi,
And
Mayor
we can't
Deinhardt.
partner together as a 501c3. So
We are not a nonprofit organization.
you're a 501c3?
Katie is actually the market manager. She was not, her name did not get on the list.
Oh, I'm sorry, Katie.
Katie
Oh, Katie, okay.
knows specifically on that
I'm
one.
Katie, I'm the manager for the market.
Got it.
I spoke with you on the
Got it.
phone. We are an official nonprofit, and paperwork is in for us to get the 501c3.
Got it, okay, so
There we
you're
go.
a not-for-profit, but the 501c. My
Getting there.
apologies for that.
That's okay.
Okay. Very clear. So with that, I mean, we've had discussions. Last year, I understand, I can't find the paperwork, I can't get, you know, Amanda's done some digging and things. You were in the park as a tier 1, is what I understand from an email that came through, which means it is a $300 damage deposit, refundable, and then $100 event fee is what it would be.
And a $75 non-refundable.
Application fee.
Application fee, correct. And that $75 application fee, regardless if you're a tier 3 and different things.
Correct.
And so, again, feel free to chime in at any point. We've had conversations of how do we, as a community, recover wear and tear on our parks and treat everybody equally and say, hey, if you're using our property, we need to collect something at the same time, because that is what our resolution is. So Riley came up with a solution where we could do an RFP, put it out there, and we would put it as $10 per table that would, so if a vendor wants to sell something, it would be $10 per table to participate at that farmer's market. And then through discussions, it doesn't seem that that will work.
Last year, it was proposed to us to be part of the RFP, but it only would put us under the city for the hot summer nights, movie nights. So that was only like 5 Fridays as opposed to all 15. So
Got
it
it.
didn't cover us for the whole season.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can do an RFP for the whole 15, Ms. Hogan.
So the current RFP, Riley, correct me if I'm wrong, it goes till the end of the year, right? Or is that September?
It goes till the end of the year.
Yeah, so it goes till the end of the year. It's not just for hot summer nights. It's, you can be there every Friday.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not just limited to hot summer nights.
And so, again, we've had the conversation here and dialogue. You know, if we're going to change a fee schedule, do something, that is something that council has to approve. This has to have a dialogue conversation. You know, we've had dialogue trying to create a solution here. And I want to be clear, I think all of us up here want farmer's market in Woodland. How do we do it, you know, in a meaningful way?
I've
Fire
been
away.
doing maybe 100 even.
It's 100.
100. And you guys are trying to classify us as tier 3, but we don't charge people to come enter the farmer's market. So I don't think we should be classified as tier 3. We should be definitely tier 2. The farmers, I mean, the planters days is 4 days and we have 15, but we're very minimal. We don't, it's more for community enrichment and supporting our community than for profit, making hundreds of dollars. I will be lucky to make $50 sometimes. And that has to cover our liability insurance, our sales tax, county sales tax,
Business
state
license.
business license, everything, and then gas to get there. If I make $50, I owe part of that to all the taxes to the city, county, state, and then the gas money to get there, grab a pizza on the way home because I wasn't home to make dinner. You know, I just spent 5 hours sitting there hustling myself, my products.
Yeah, can I ask a question? You said the table fee. So vendors are paying a fee already to farmer's
That's to the
market.
farmer's market, and that's to cover all of our expenses that is actually.
The application,
So
the
they're
fees,
paying
the
$20
permit.
We have
for that.
$285 a year insurance. We have to pay the Washington State Farmers Market $185. We've got $119 a year for computer software stuff that I use for the farmers market, and it just goes on. And in the past, the difference came out of my pocket.
Yeah,
So
I-
basically, I don't have $500.
I absolutely agree. I just want to make sure that everybody's here. I mean, so the vendors are paying a $20 fee
Well, we actually halved it this year to 10.
to 10.
Yeah.
Got it.
Trying to drum up new vendors because they all left,
Got it.
except for a couple of good ones.
Mr. Smith has a comment, question.
I guess I'm kind of looking at this, it's supposed to be a benefit for the community.
Correct.
And everything is hard to kind of start from the beginning and get it going. And if
We
you
are not well
have-
established yet.
If
I
you
don't mean to
have
interrupt.
high fees, it's going to be a challenge to get anybody in there. If it's a benefit to the community, and a lot of community members are the ones you want to come to this, we're already paying for the park as it is. So I understand the impact of the park and wanting to kind of recoup to kind of pay for the park. But maybe I'm just crazy here thinking this. I won't be here for the vote when it happens. But I feel like there should be an exclusion for farmers markets specifically for use in the park to set it up and make it something good. I mean, it's kind of like the food carts, you know, same thing, trying it. If it doesn't work and it's going crazy, then you can kind of modify it at that point. But
Correct.
to me, I think you try to help out as much as you can and try to get it going. And I don't think the couple of extra bucks that you guys are bringing in for the 15% is going to make or break the bank here.
Except ours.
You know, 100% agree. I mean, I just, so that was one of the conversations that we had is, hey, come to council and, you know, we will have to write up a new resolution and a different tier or something else for farmer's market.
And that was my expectation of getting up here today is for 3 years, we've applied.
Told
got-
we're tier 3.
or whatever number was given to us, and then it changes. And then last year, we applied, it's a different number, and then it changed. And here we are again for the 3rd year. And
100% agree, and
and
that's
we're, and
why.
we're and we're struggling just to get vendors here because Woodland's a small town.
Yeah. And that's why I said, hey, let's have this and put this on here so that we can have the conversation. Riley, do you want to chime in on the fee resolution or conversation here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did create the RFP. The RFP has a $100 deposit and cleaning fee. So, but we came up with instead of the 15% of the total sales, just doing a $10 per booth. So that's a 12 by 12 booth for everyone that wants to do the farmers market in the park. It's my understanding that we do need to collect a fee for any vendor that is in the park, whether or not it's a special event or it falls under the RFP. So that's why we reduced it to just a flat $10.
And so then if we come back with a fee resolution that would say, hey, for farmers market, sort of like Planners Day is here, we could create some language, but then that would at least give city employees direction here to go. Mr. Smith.
I've been up here for 4+ years, and every year we give out money for the LTAC to try to bring people into this community. And I feel like if there's any way possible to set it up to put a sunset of 0 fees for X number of years to try to develop it and bring it in, I think it would be a good thing at the end of the day. I know we give a few $1,000s to the Lilac Garden. We give it to the Chamber. We get, there's money out there as far as bringing tourism dollars in. For the hotels, I think is what that tax comes from. I don't see the farmers market bringing, taxes for the hotels, but I feel like it's a benefit to the community, and I feel like we should do our part to try to help build that if it's possible.
There are a lot of community members that come in just to visit the Lilac, to support us,
Yeah.
and they come into town and they get gas and they might stop at the store and get something to eat. And, that was the whole point of us being downtown. I would have to go back with the vendors to see what they say about that, but that certainly is a much more manageable idea than the 15% that I've already been told by vendors that would be a no-go. I don't want to leave. I like where we're at. Changing locations is really hard to keep your customers knowing where, people already don't know where we're at, so.
From our conversation Friday night, it sounds like that, the $10, and Miss Owens is one, come on up, Miss. No, you're fine. It sounds like the $10 table.
But I just want us to keep in mind, okay, we have an actual vendor here who makes maybe $50. 10% is 20% of that. That's more than 15%.
That's true. Yeah, 100% agree, and this was us, in having a dialogue, having a conversation, because again, when someone reaches out, I reached back out and said, hey, let's get a solution here. And if we want to create resolution, for this, that's up to council and away we go. Ms. Rounds.
Are you still talking them paying the application fee?
Oh, I say waive it all.
Waive
for
it all.
farmers markets. That's my opinion.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a benefit for the community. Let's have it.
I was on one of the first markets when they started, and we used to do it on the side road going to the museum.
Right by the fountain.
Okay, right by the fountains, which is a nice place, and you don't have all the people rushing through you trying to swim and stuff like that. So, and I think that's the way it should go back. All of a sudden, there was fees, and when I seen the fees, I'm going like, that's crazy. They don't make much money. They don't. They're selling fruits, and that's what we won't want. Fruits, vegetables that's not grown here.
Right.
And I know people don't want to come because they don't want to spend the money.
If we were the Vancouver farmers market,
then
where
it'd
we
be
generated thousands of dollars, we wouldn't be standing here even questioning a $500 fee and 15%. But we're nowhere near that, so. Yes, yet. Thank you very much.
But
if
they
we
didn't-
get there, I can understand where we could be reassessed, reevaluated. But at this time, it just makes us nervous thinking of hundreds of dollars when might be what our total sales are for the year.
So
I think it should be free.
what we have to be careful of, though, back here, is the fact that we can't gift public property or public access that we would normally charge for. So that's why we went from the 15% of overall sales to just a flat $10 fee per booth. So that is in comparison with Longview and every other farmer's market that we've,
Cougar was free last year. I'd also do Ridgefield Farmers Market, and they
and
don't
those,
charge any
and those could be on
percentage.
they're probably not on public property.
They
They're probably
are,
on
City
private.
Park and Ridgefield, and the one up in Cougar is private property.
It's private property,
Yeah.
but on city property, you have to,
There, yeah, Ridgefield. The city of Ridgefield pays for their farmers market. We do a $10 booth fee, no application fee or anything else.
yeah, and we're not talking about application fee. We're just talking about just the booth fee.
Right,
That booth fee doesn't go to the city, it goes to the farmer's market.
correct.
See, the vendors are already paying the farmer's market to be there.
See, and I believe that the city can't legally do that.
And that's what we did
Looked
last
into
year.
that.
Yeah.
We went through this last year. We were told we were a tier 3. We pulled up the thing and
But you,
said,
so you paid an application fee, so
Right.
there was money that came to the city.
Right, it was the
somewhere. So
$95.
the city didn't-
Correct.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
see, I
no
think that's what I hear from
daily
Riley is
fee,
that
percentage fee.
100% free is, something, so.
Charge them
I-
a dollar then.
And so,
I'm happy paying the $95 like we did last year.
yeah. So, I hear direction from council that obviously we want to make it as close to $0 as we possibly can. And it sounds like it's a sunsetting deal of 3 years is the direction. Obviously, we're in workshop, so we can't take a vote and do all that, but it gives direction and say, hey, so when staff gets back in the offices tomorrow and I can have a conversation with them, we'll have direction. And then what we will do is we will have to bring this back for a first and second reading at our next council meeting, which would be June 3rd, kind of a deal. So I know that farmer's market is trying to move along. Ms. Owens.
I'd still like to have my time.
Yes, she would.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'd just like to say that I do really appreciate all of you guys working with us on this. It's obviously something that's near and dear to all of our heart.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's,
And I appreciate the mayor for bringing it forward. It's not just getting, rigid response, like this is how it is, so I think it's a good thing bringing it up and actually having the conversation.
And knowing what to anticipate next year would be nice.
yeah, and that's why,
Yeah.
again, that's why one of our first conversations, I said, hey, let's get a resolution in front here so that we
I'll
can
step aside
truly.
if you wanna.
So I fully support. One
Something, Mama.
moment here. Melissa Dowdy is on the phone, council member, and she would like to say something. So she's had her hand up. Fire away, Ms. Dowdy.
I just was wondering, since there are 15 weeks, what if we just charged a flat $10 for the 15 weeks and it just be $150 just covers the farmer's market for the season? As they are getting it up and rooted, and then even look at them applying next year for maybe some of those tax dollars to help offset some of it completely.
Oh, you're saying have farmer's market,
Pay $150.
try and, put a grant in from LTAC to get money that would pay for, the fees.
But this year, if we have to take in something, look at, instead of each booth having to pay, because they're right, I've gone to it every year. And at $10 a booth, there are many days where it's buried, it's dead. They'd be lucky if that's what they got.
Yeah.
So if you're just saying $10 for whatever is going on in the market, and just set it at $150 for the season, then you're at least getting something to cover the 15 days they're set up. And then they're joined with us even on summer's nights and stuff like that, that also bring more of the community in to maybe get more booths, knowing that they're trying to build the program.
Agreed. I hear your direction there, Ms. Dowdy, and we'll take that into consideration when we start working on this, and I'm kind of looking over at Riley.
I don't think it's qualified for that.
So,
Hotel motel tax.
Ms. Owens.
Did you get to say what you wanted to say? Okay. So, I'm Carol Owens, and I have been going to the farmer's market, and last year I very silly said, hey, can you use a volunteer? And now I'm the treasurer.
They tried that to me too.
You were faster running than I was. So, I think we're all in agreement, but I just want to remind and put into the record that there are definite advantages to having a farmer's market. So first off, if you remember a few months ago, year ago, when we were going through all the stuff about the bottoms and the dairy farm closing, and we've got to keep farmers in Woodland. This keeps farmers. Small farmers, but it keeps farmers. During the pandemic, the government realized farmers markets were a way to get past that chain supply issues. So that's very important. Let's see. The USDA says farmers markets have become a critical ingredient to our nation's economy, food systems, and communities. And everybody recognizes that it's a place where neighbors meet neighbors, and the many benefits of having a farmer's market nearby are felt throughout the community. So one of our goals is to promote charity work. So last year we had the folks out that were giving out the phones to the low-income people. Assuming we pull this off, we have a new senior citizens committee in Woodland that just started up, and we're going to have a booth there free this on opening night with information about it. Check the box, what kind of things would you be interested in to kind of get the ball rolling. Some vendors donate food to the place by the train tracks. Action Center, thank you. So this is a part of the community that we really need. I just wanted to make sure that was on the record. Thank you.
100% agree with you. We're aligned here. Katie, do you have anything else to say? I want to make sure you get your comments in.
As mentioned, I'd just like to have something settled so that next year we can say, well, this is what we've been doing every year. I thought that we had done that last year. I'm still not sure then what happened last year.
And like you said, I mean, when you sent me the email, I was like, wait a minute here. So I that's why we reached out and had the conversation, Katie, and it was, I appreciate you reaching out to us.
It's my fault. We had a lot of personal health stuff going on.
So last, Mr. Freimark.
You guys I got a soft spot for your efforts here. I've been to a lot of farmers markets in my life, and that's an asset for the town as long as it's ran properly and you guys use good health protocol. We don't want anybody to get sick. I for one, would vote for them to get by with an absolute minimum for several years, 3 or 4 years, figure out what the future holds for you, and we'll address it down the road. But you need a chance to grow, and you'd have my definite support for an absolute minimum, Riley.
We want to do a booth there this year. So
We're just passionate to participate, and the more help we get from you guys, the easier it'll be for us to become established and become more profitable for the city, with drawing people in and everything else.
Agreed. It's all good.
As proposed, the $10 per vendor is doable.
What was that?
As proposed
$10
by
a day.
Councilwoman Doherty, the $150
for the year.
For the year.
for the year.
Yeah.
That's doable.
That would be wonderful.
$10 per table, and that would get them for the whole year, meaning the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was $10 per day
Per
is what
day.
she said, yeah. Per table, I
No,
mean, if we
but
had
you're
20
right. What you're
tables.
saying here is what is doable. If I hear you correctly, Kate, you're saying if it is $10 per table, but it's for the whole 15
Right.
weeks, so then it's almost like 97 cents or something that you're paying per week.
It's more than what we paid last year.
But that's what I'm hearing you
Yeah,
say, is that it was
yeah.
doable, not $10 per table per week. It's
Yeah,
$10
I don't think I can make that fly with the vendors.
So it's $10 per table per season.
Yeah, 150 fee.
But we're still gonna look and see if we can do something, you know,
I think
because
the
I'm
wording
hearing
on
council.
that is problematic, because we don't have the same number of tables every week. So if I understood it correctly, it was $150 for the year, which is $10 per week. It doesn't matter if there's 3 booths or 20 booths, it's $10 per week to add up to 150.
No, I don't, we weren't,
No? I thought
I
that's
mean-
what she said on the.
It's to be
Katie,
discussed by the
Katie,
council.
work with me here, because I think that you and I are on the same page here. What I'm hearing, it doesn't matter if it's 150 or if it's 500 or it's $2, but it's If I come down there and I do it for 10 weeks, 15 weeks, 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. As a vendor that's going to have a table there, I'm going to pay $10, and it doesn't matter how many weeks I go, I'm only paying $10.
So each vendor has to
for the
pay
whole season.
$150 is
No,
what you're suggesting?
$10.
Just the whole,
$10 for the season. $10 for the season. So if they choose to come 1 week, 10 weeks,
I see what you're saying.
15 weeks,
Yeah.
they pay $10. So did I hear you?
I think we're on the same page.
it's okay.
But
Okay.
that being said,
This
just
is how
because
passionate
we're,
we are,
this is
sorry.
the 11th hour and we're supposed to be starting this week, what do we do?
I just want to make sure I'm hearing. So again, I'm going to have staff work tomorrow on something, and I will reach out to
Okay.
you, or I will have Riley reach out to you. One of us will have a conversation with what we're proposing, take it to council. Obviously, we can't implement it until council approves it, but you at least will have a direction of where it's going.
The only thing that I would add, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we do try to leave the park in better shape than we find it. We pick up garbage, we pick up dog poop, we,
We're a,
catch stray animals running around.
we're
Stray
a,
children.
I'll give it $10 to clean my yard.
You can't afford me.
we're a complaint-driven city, so if it just
Absolutely.
happens next week, then it
So-
happens.
Yeah.
Moving
Mr.
really quick, just moving forward, if you would, just fill out the RFP on the city's website. We're gonna make a subsection for farmers markets just on the RFP so we can bypass all the tier levels. And then we can make a special exception for the farmers market.
I have to run that by the Southwest Washington liaison for the Washington State Farmers Market Association.
So, with that, I think it's going to be clearer and better to come back June 3rd with a resolution on here.
Okay, thank you.
Riley's laughing and like, whoop.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I think the farmers market for Woodland is a great opportunity, and I think the community is going to love it. And we're going to do what we can to help facilitate the farmers market in Woodland.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions from council, community before we exit this section?
Workshop. Exit the workshop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a great meeting.
Thank
in
you for your
person.
time.
Thank you.
And with that, it is now 8:44, and we will leave workshop and go back into our council meeting.
Make a motion to end the meeting.
Second.
Oh, whoops.
It is 8:44 PM, and the meeting is now adjourned.
Bye.
Did you catch